Hello, welcome back to another episode of More Than Friends. My name is Tashi, and with me today again, because I love her so much, is my bestie, Lauren Summer.
Hi.
Bestie girl.
Hey, you can't get rid of me. What are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about how to approach different situations with women, how we best like to be approached, because there's some situations that come up in relationships that are make or break sometimes. So, you know, we want you to come off like hot, masculine, but in a vulnerable way, you know.
Yeah. There are right ways and wrong ways.
Yeah.
It's important we cover these.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to ask you different situations, and you let me know. How would you like it, girl?
Okay, girl, I'll tell you. Hit me.
So what's the best way for a man to tell you that he doesn't like you hanging out with a certain guy friend?
Okay, so the best way for a guy to tell me he doesn't like me hanging out with a certain guy, I think coming up in a neutral situation, a neutral, you know, like we're not in the middle of a fight or anything already to be like, and by the way, but it's like a neutral, you know what I mean? And another thing, just coming into it and being like, hey, I know that you're friends with Bob, but XYZ kind of makes me uncomfortable. I think instead of saying, I don't want you to ever hang out with him, be like, are you open to maybe like hanging out less or whatever because I feel this way? Making it a conversation, not an accusation and not a demand. Like she is just a servant to you that has to obey what you're telling her, but a conversation of like, here's why. Because she might be like, oh, I understand. And yeah. Or she might be like, Bob is one of my best friends and that's like a non-negotiable for me. But like, let's talk about it. Like it needs to be a discussion and not a command.
Yeah, because I hate when guys do the whole every guy isn't really your friend thing. And then you're just like, God damn it. Like, I get
like,
that. I'm pretty.
Like,
There's a
okay.
hurdle they have to go through. But then I share so much with them that I know they don't want to anymore.
Then they get to know me, and I know they don't want to fucking date me anymore. I know they don't want to date me anymore. It's different.
But yeah, I feel like approaching it in a way where it's like, even coming to like a thing, because I had this discussion in a relationship before where they're just like, okay, how about we come up with things? Because I want them, like usually I date guys that do have girlfriends as well. So a common agreement that we came up with was like, you just can't be alone in the house together, like doing, like maybe it has to be out.
Perfect.
Like that was like a good one. Because I'm like, okay, yeah, because that could be weird.
Yeah.
And then no traveling together, just you two.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
That's
things
like
alone.
no shit.
Yeah.
That seems like a no-brainer. Perfect.
Make it romantic.
Maybe don't date each other. I don't know, while we're dating. Yeah. Maybe don't go on a honeymoon while we're together.
Whatever.
Maybe. If I can ask that of you. I think that's great. I think what's important is not coming into it aggressively, demanding something of her, but be willing to have the conversation, vulnerably express your feelings as to why this person makes you uncomfortable or hanging out makes them uncomfortable. Because it might be the way you guys interact, or it might be an internal thing within them of like they're insecure and they're jealous. You don't know, and you're not going to find out unless you have a discussion.
Yeah, and that's important too, because if it's something internal, like, because if they're not being flirty in any way, if they are, obviously you could be like, dude, I don't want you hanging out with this person. He's way too flirty with you.
Course.
But if it's like, if they aren't that way at all, then you have to like look inside and be like, okay, is there something I need to work on also as well to be more comfy?
We love a conversation.
How should a guy approach you about posting sexy content on social media?
First things first, think about it first. But I mean this, stick with me. Stay with me here. Think about it first. Sit with it within your own self first. Unpack it within yourself first before you unpack it with her. So that you know why you want to talk to her about it. So you know why you're uncomfortable with it. Instead of just being like, I want you to take them down, but I don't know why, and I really need you to, blah, blah, blah. Just be like, come to her with you post these sexy photos and it makes me feel like I'm sharing you or whatever. Like, have the reason already.
Yeah.
So then you can have the constructive discussion already.
Yeah.
And see where it goes.
Yeah, I like that. And especially just trying to figure out, you can also come to like a compromise of, if she's comfortable with it, figuring out like, is there some way that you guys can both feel comfortable with the content that she's sharing?
Yeah, I think it's important to know like if she has already had this Instagram before you guys were together, or if it was previous, like you guys were together and she didn't have this Instagram and all of a sudden she started posting extremely sexy photos and it's like out of character for her. I think maybe that deserves a discussion of like, hey, we've got 4 kids and now all of a sudden you're posting scantily clad leather bondage photos for your 86 followers. What's happening?
Crushing it.
Like, why are we doing this? Like, I think we need to talk about this. It's making me a little uncomfortable. Versus a guy coming up to a girl who maybe has a following, maybe doesn't, but has already just been posting this like sexy bikini lingerie content and then having a problem or an issue or an insecurity with it. I think that context is important.
Yeah.
But also the way that you communicate that is equally as important.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know, there's nuance to it because it could be either situation. It could be such an out of character thing for this person, or it's like you knew what you were fucking getting into. So it depends.
That's what I hate, when they knew what they were getting into and then they shame you for it after. Like, you really need to be doing all this. And
It's like,
just,
yeah, actually.
you look like this, and you're like, you knew that.
Yeah, that's why you slid into my DMs.
You like me because of that. So that was the worst thing, is like, I dated someone before in the past that was more controlling, and he knew getting into dating me, how I was, how I dressed, how like the sexy jokes I said, like sexual jokes I said. I'm like, you knew how my mouth was before meeting me.
That's why
and then he wanted
me.
to keep like dimming it, and he kept on trying to control me. But what's funny that guys don't realize is over time, that's what made you so attracted to her. And then you're trying to make her something that you're not even attracted to anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So why are you're like self-sabotaging and you're sabotaging her?
Yeah.
No one's winning.
Yeah, no.
What's the end goal?
Yeah.
Like, what is your end goal? I think that if a guy has a problem, sit with it. Like I said, look inward first and say, why do I have a problem with this and what is my end goal? How do I want this to end? Yeah.
Whenever you have all the power in a relationship, what type of guy is this? Like, how would you describe him?
In my own experience, because it's all that I can speak from, whenever I was one holding all the power, which I don't like, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's healthy or sustainable. Whenever I was holding all the power, I think that he was very unhealed. I think that he had very childlike tendencies. I think that he was very insecure. I think that he was very emotionally not in tune with himself, financially unstable, which led to all of his other emotional issues. It's so that it became, I was the breadwinner, I was the mother, I was the therapist, I was the hookup partner, I was the everything. Yeah. And I held all the power, and I held all of the, I was one starting the discussions, I was the one paying for the bill, I was doing all of this, and I was like,
you're like, what am I getting?
And so then on the other side of that coin is like a shared, relation, like an equal relationship, is it's like, no, like you have your money, you have your job, and I have my money and my job, and you can buy me dinner, and then I'll buy you this, and then like, like we like I bring up that I have a problem this time, and then you bring up the problem next time, and it's all very equal and it's even, and there's balance, there's emotional balance, there's everything isn't out of whack. But in my experience, whenever I held all of the control, that other person was going through some shit.
Yeah, for me, when I think of guys that I've dated where I had a lot of the power, they felt very like I was almost like their whole world. They didn't have anything else going on besides me. Or
he wouldn't leave the house.
Yeah, they always. It was like a plan. Every weekend, I already knew we were hanging out. Like, he didn't really hang out with his friends as much. He always wanted to be around me. Wasn't driven on any goals really too much.
Exactly. Yeah.
Would like plan his whole life around me and whenever I wanted to do everything. So it got to the point where I was like, yeah, it's the most attractive quality in a man is a man who's driven and passionate about a goal. Yeah. They have a life besides just you. Like, I love that you want to hang out with me all the time. I love so that feeling, but also like knowing that they're like, I am gonna hang out with my friends because I do love my friends as well. Yes. And I do love doing this hobby. Yeah, and I'm like, that's so hot.
Exactly.
I'll miss you, and that's good.
I know, I miss you, and I'll see you later. Whatever, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's, for some reason, that's always the situation, is the guy is always, I don't know, maybe it is like an insecurity thing. I mean, I'm sure it goes both ways.
Oh, yeah, there's
where if the man holds all the power, the girl's probably like, what are you doing? Where are you? It's like anxious attachment style.
Oh, for sure. That's when women are like, I want to know where you are, what you're doing, who you're hanging out with.
Yeah, I just...
Some of your location.
Yeah, and then I think the natural instinct has become very avoidant.
Yeah.
Because you're like, this is too much. I can't, girl, you're being too clingy. And vice versa. If you hold all the power and they're being anxious about it, you're like, slow your roll.
You need to breathe.
And it makes you avoidant. Yeah, it's not healthy.
And it just, it ruins attraction. Yeah. So
no one wants to fuck their mom. No one wants to, you don't want to fuck your caretaker. You don't want to fuck, you know what I mean? Like, that's not attractive.
It's not hot.
It's like, don't make me be your mom.
The girls hate that. Because a lot of the times the reason why women start mothering is because that's something that we're actually supposed to do with our kids. So we like do it to our man because we're thinking like, oh, we're showing love by telling you what you should do, what you should be eating, where you should go and stuff. Yeah. But then when women actually learn to like stay in their own power, like, and actually just be like, okay, I'll allow him, like, he's a grown adult.
Yeah,
he can do things himself, and then like allow him to be him. It's such a better relationship. So I always want to give advice on the other side for men when a girl is trying to control like what you're doing, who you're hanging out with, you will turn into like, I've seen those guys that are just, they look so miserable in like a marriage where they're just like, they have no personality. They barely talk anymore because whenever they talk, they're pissing off their wife, and like she's talking down to him in front of other people.
And
like,
I was just
it's so sad.
I was just thinking this the other day. I know a couple like, I know a few couples like that, but I know a couple like that who's been together forever. And when they're out, there's no life in their eyes. Why are you together? You want your kid to look at you and be like, mommy and daddy, this is what love is. They're bickering and yelling at each other all the time, and you can tell that they don't have sex.
Yeah.
They hate each other.
Because the girl's like, she's taking on a masculine role and the guy's going into the feminine. So it's like making sure you nip that in the butt. Like, you can still do it even if you're in a relationship now. Like, just be like, hey, these are my boundaries now.
Yeah.
When I want to continue to go and do this hobby or go hang out with these friends, either you're gonna work with me or we come up with a compromise, but it's not gonna work otherwise because I'm not happy.
Yeah. Again, communication.
Huge. Because a lot of guys just want to please the girl, so they're like, oh, I'll just settle, like I'll just not have a good life then, and just whatever to make her happy because I don't want to hear her nag or whatever.
No,
but
no
you're
one
like,
should ever do that.
Set down the law, Daddy.
Men, women, no one should ever, don't fucking settle. Communicate what you want, and then if nothing still happens and they're still not eager and, open to have that conversation, then peace out. But
because there are women where it's like, I get it, it's coming from, they want to control everything because maybe their life when they were younger was out of control, so they're like very trying to be the man.
I remember I was in a relationship, and I think that we were doing something outside all day, whether it was like hiking or like Disney or something. I was like, oh, like don't forget to put on like your face sunscreen, because like he owns it, so it's not like it's my sunscreen or whatever. And he was like, don't tell me what to do, I'm a grown man, and I blah 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 blah. And I was like, just reminding you of the thing that you own, that you do, and that you in the past have told me that you want to be more consistent about doing. So it's a different situation where it's like, I wasn't like, put on your fucking sunscreen. You know, I was trying to like remind him, and so then he was like, well, I was going to, but now I'm not going to. Like a kid.
Oh God.
Like a kid. I'm like, well, now you told me to put on my sunscreen. I'm not going to put on my sunscreen. I'm like, you're 35.
I'm getting back at you.
Yeah. I'm
going to burn for
I'm going to burn, and I'm going to get sun damage.
And this is your fault.
And that's your fault. And I was just like,
you're like, or you could just tell her like, hey, I know you're coming from love, but when you tell me to do things, it makes me feel like I'm a child. So just, I'll do it. And if I don't, that's on me. Yeah. That's an easier way to say it.
And I'd be like, I'm a man. For sure. Yeah, no, I'm a man, and now I'm gonna burn because that's more masculine than listening to my girlfriend. Fuck you. It was just it was very weird. This is a very toxic relationship. You can tell. I keep talking about it. This is the same. When I say my ex and I dated this guy, it's the same guy. It's beeps the entire name, his social security number, where he lives. It's the same person. It was so toxic. Oh God.
But you almost have to have those toxic relationships to learn boundaries, and I think that's
I'm so grateful for it for that reason.
Oh yeah, I was like, even guys need boundaries as well too. I'm like, guys setting those boundaries with women, because I think we do them. We're not great at it sometimes, but I think that's how you learn.
I can't. If there's just one thing you can take away from this, men, ladies, whoever's watching this, talk to people, talk to your partner, communicate your issues gently. You know, from a place of love, from a place of we're a team. Just talk. Oh my God, communication. Over communication is so much better than under communication. Yeah. Like telling how you feel instead of just being like, I don't know how they feel, or oh my God, just talk. Just talk.
And I think that's important too. Like when you are confronting someone with something that's going to be maybe possibly hurtful or anyway, just making sure that you say, this is how I feel. I'm not saying this is you.
Yes, I feel XYZ.
This is how I feel. I'm not saying this you're wrong and this is all your fault.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, no, this is how that situation made me feel. And then the person can listen to what you're saying without getting so defensive. I'm like, because otherwise you're losing right away.
Yeah, everyone loses. There's no coming back from that.
How should a guy approach paying for everything if he's not financially there yet?
That is a very good question. I think for that one, I don't fully have all of the answers. I think what I want to say is to maybe plan dates and plan things that are within your means. Yeah. You know, like if you can't afford to take her to Nobu, don't take her to Nobu. Do you want to have a chill little, do you want to go sit outside at this little, like at Mendo's, at Mendocino Farm? Which actually might be as much as Nobu. Mendo's expensive. But I'm like, do you want to go to fucking Chipotle or, like do things within your means? Or if you're comfortable enough, go to her and say, hey, here's how I am financially. I still want to provide for you and I still want to do these things. But again, let's have a conversation about it of like, I can't pay your rent or I can't do this, but I still want to be able to do these things for you. But I think be realistic of like what's in your means, what's within your realm of possibility, and openly communicate that to her.
Yeah, because otherwise, say it's something where you come to a compromise of like, I can take you on dates twice a week or something like that, like a dinner date. Then at least she knows, instead of being like, he never takes me on dates, or he never wants to take me anywhere nice. Because some guys, they'll come out with like the best place first date, and she's like, this is how it is.
Yeah.
And then then he starts taking you places that aren't that great, and she's just like, oh, he doesn't like me anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Don't pretend to be someone that you're not. No. Don't showboat. Don't whatever. You know, like I think be realistic. What is in your realm of possibility? And that's okay. And if she's like, I deserve Nobu every single night, and you're like, hey, well, maybe you're not compatible. And if she's like, I love Nobu, but that's okay, I still love you, then you're great. And she knows.
Better.
Yeah.
And I feel like that open communication. And even if you are going on first dates, I feel like if you're not sure about the girl yet, then take her on dates that are free, like hiking or like something cheap, like going to coffee. See if you even like her before spending that money. Yeah. But yeah, there's other ways around it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you've got options that don't even, like you said, that don't even cost anything. Quality time is for the free.
Yeah, I had someone once, they took me to the Getty Museum, and we were just like, it's free to get in. And we were just he was reading a book to me, like some like cool book, and we were just sitting in the grass, and it was a beautiful view. I'm like,
and you didn't marry him? Why? That sounds romantic.
Yeah, it was like cute day.
Oh, I love that.
I was like, he didn't even spend anything.
Yeah.
So I was like,
see?
Smart.
And it was a whole event. It was a whole day.
It was so cute.
How special. See,
girls just like when you put thought into it.
I love thought and I love effort.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be money.
Yeah, no. We just like to know that you try to make it special.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cute.
You thought of me. I thought this was really sweet. I went on a date and the guy was, he asked me like what part of town I lived in. And then he picked a restaurant like right next to my house.
I
like
love
right.
That. So
that I didn't have to. So he came to me. And I thought that was really attractive.
That's very
That
attractive.
was really, really nice.
Because I had a thing where if somebody picked something by them, I was just like, I'm not going on a date with you.
Yeah.
You only care about your convenience.
Yeah.
I'm the girl.
Yeah, you know, like, oh, it's convenient to you. But it was very nice, like that effort of like, he picked, the restaurant and it was, within his means. He made sure it was, then he asked if I liked it, and I was like, yes. He's like, perfect. I'll be there at 5 or whatever. And it was very...
Or something calm.
Yeah, I said, okay.
What's the best way for a man to share his sexual desires?
The best way to share his sexual desires. Oh, I think, from personal recent experience, I think that while you're in the moment, maybe like you've started kissing, like while you're already in that headspace to be like, do you know what I really like? Or like, do you know what I'd really like to try? Maybe not now, but one day. Like while you're already kind of in that zone.
Yeah.
I think that's like a really hot, comfortable place for it. And it's comfortable because
you're in a flirty
You're past
state.
that, you're in the flirty state. I think that would be a fantastic way. And also it's a great tell of like, if you're like, I'm really into like feet stuff, if she pulls back and is like, ugh, then you've really got a good gauge on how it's being perceived. Or if you're like, I really want to, I want there to be a mirror. And she's like, and start making out even more, then like it's a safe place. Yeah. You can kind of judge the reactions a little better because like your body language, if you already like...
Yeah, I like that because especially if you're just like... I would say like not in like when you're about to have sex.
Oh, yeah. Like
but I do like the
right as it starts a little,
yeah.
like things are like you're getting flirty, maybe you're kissing.
But like saying it before I think is important, like saying what you're into and things like that. And then if it's something like a lot more kinkier that you're like, this could scare her, maybe like get to know her a little bit.
If it's something that's like, I really like knife play, maybe not in the middle of the, like you said, of like,
that
maybe that's like
a different separate time,
we're
not
sitting,
in the bedroom.
We're eating dessert. We're like, okay, there's something I want to bring to your attention.
Share a fantasy.
Yeah.
Because there was fantasies that I even wanted to try, and I was like, this is something that like I didn't feel comfy with saying right away because I didn't know the person. But like once I got to know them, and then I said, hey, I'll like be like, hey, let's talk about fantasies. I feel like that's a hot way to just like bring up the topic.
Yeah.
Like I just want to learn what you like.
Yeah. Just so I can just drop like the most insane kink that he's ever heard in his entire life. You're like, anyways, your turn. And he's like, oh my god. Oh my god.
Need a break, I'll come
Yeah,
back.
I like that though, for sure.
And even if you don't, if she's like not open to that type of kink or whatever, there's also ways to talk about like some kind of compromise.
yeah.
Something that she's comfortable with, and then seeing if that like
Maybe
works
you
out.
start with plastic butter knives instead of going full butcher. And maybe that works for you. Maybe it works even more.
I love that the knife people feel heard today.
They're like, thank you. Yes, thank you. I've been fucking saying. And everyone thinks I'm fucking crazy. It's a thing. It's a thing. I'm not saying that I'm speaking from experience. It's just a thing.
I still like the mask one, but somebody told me that was weird of me to think.
I don't know what it is. I think it stems from whenever I was little and thinking that guys in motorcycle helmets were really attractive. Something has happened to me where the Scream mask is attractive, where there's this band called Sleep Token where like their mask is attractive. The guy from Call of Duty, I'm like, why do I want to bone all these masked characters? There's this mystery, because you know what it is? I've always historically like bad boys. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, if he's wearing a mask, he's a bad boy. Good guys don't wear masks. Think about
What
it.
is he hiding?
Good guys don't.
He's
What
so
is he fighting? He's so
mysterious.
mysterious. I can fix him.
But I think mine
fix
came from
him.
Scream for sure, because I was like, because
Yeah.
the main guy, the killer in the end, he's like
He's
hot.
cute. He's cute. So, you're like,
just
oh, so
like, oh my
all
God,
masked
hot guy.
guys are hot. We are just a brain cell when we see like pecs. It's really a problem. We're like, oh my God, he's a hot guy. He literally is like killing people, and you're like, oh, but he's so
But
hot.
he's like very attractive.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I'll never change. I'll never change. And I saw a girl, speaking of kinks and communicating them, I saw this girl and she was like, I told my boyfriend, she was like walking like in the dark outside. And she's like, I told my boyfriend that I was into X mask. I forgot what it was. And I wanted to like be like, I wanted him to like chase me in the mask. So then she puts it over and he's like walking towards her in the dark outside, like in this mask. And she's giggling. She is so happy. She's giggling. I'm like, homegirl communicated her kink and he showed up. He showed out. One day I'm going to find that masked man, that shirtless masked man.
I found a kink that I liked was when during the whole sexual encounter, he was like filming it with my phone because that made me feel
Privacy.
safer.
Yes, exactly.
And then gave it to me to watch during, and I was like, that was really hot.
I never thought about the
like
giving
so
it to you
cool.
to watch during.
So hot. I was like, oh, because they have the best view.
Wait, that's
you can't see
genius.
anything, so you're
Wait,
like,
that's
oh,
genius.
that's what you're seeing.
Oh,
That's
that's what you're seeing.
Or let me arch my back more. No, just kidding.
Wait, because I've always like, oh yeah, I like whenever like they film it. Because I've only ever done that with one person before.
Yeah.
That I felt like safe enough to do it with. And he was like, give me your phone.
Yeah.
Very attractive.
So
Like
hot.
that's for you, you
So
know?
hot.
Like if you want to send it to me, you can send it to me,
That's
whatever.
on you.
But it's on you. But I've never thought about the like
Yeah.
during. That's hot.
And now
like that.
it's like a cool memory for me.
Yeah. It's a good experience.
In my hidden folder. Just kidding.
God forbid anyone go to my hidden folder. It is now empty because
yeah.
it was at one point full,
Yeah.
but it's been emptied.
I actually had a thing where recently I was talking to a guy and he was showing me something in his hidden folder and he's like, don't swipe at all. And then I was like,
I want to swipe.
well, now I want to swipe. I didn't know I was in the hidden folder. And I was like,
Yeah.
who are all these pictures of people? And then he's like, fuck. So then he had to delete them all. He's like,
Oh my God.
I was like, oh, that was awkward. I was
Yeah.
like, why are you saving these random? I was like, that's so funny.
You're like,
oh, I didn't know I was in the hidden folder.
I didn't know otherwise I would have swiped.
Well, thank you so much for joining me again, and I'm gonna have you back again, but tell them where to find you.
You can find me on most social media platforms at Hey Lauren Summer, and on the newly decrepit TikTok, The Lauren Summer, and on OnlyFans, Hey Lauren Summer. Basically everywhere.
She's everywhere.
I'm everywhere. You can't get away from
You'll
me.
get excited.
What about you?
I'll find you. You can find me at Toshi999 or on all my other socials. It's Tosh9pm. I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Big personality.
Don't bully me, I'll come.